Hi, and welcome to Homebased Business Review. I'm your host, Carl Douglas, and today our subject will be about why it's important to have insurance. So I brought on a special guest, Ron Fraser. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. How about yourself?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. Listen, Ron, I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate that.
and I got to say that I don't say that lightly because I am a vet as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
But people need to understand, when you're in the military, you know, you guarding the world here,
Yeah.
United States. Actually, you guarding the United States, and that's very special in my
Hmm.
eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
so Ron, let's talk about a subject that a lot of people are asking, and that is why is it so important to have insurance? You are an insurance agent, so let's talk about that. Why is it so important?
So I feel like why is it so important to have insurance? And when that question is asked to me by anybody, I kind of think of it on two things. All right. There's only two ways that somebody's gonna die. It's either gonna be expected or unexpected.
Okay.
Usually when it's expected, you're a little older. So it's
Hmm.
important to have life insurance because all of that time that you spent in this world to accumulate the wealth, and even if you don't have a lot of wealth, the little bit of stuff that you actually do have that you've accumulated that you want to pass off to your family, it's there to protect. That life insurance there it passes on tax free and it passes on probate free. So you don't have
Hmm.
to worry about any assets or anything like that being caught up in a court system or you owe this company that or that because that money's going to your family straight, no chasing. All right. And so and when you're young, the thing that I think about is like a lot of young people like to think they're invincible. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
especially like me, I deal with a lot of young soldiers, and it's like we're Iron Man. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna live forever. You
Right.
know, and then like you have this family, and and this has happened even on my Facebook, timeline. Somebody younger than me, I'm 37. A guy he's about 33, 34 years old. Uh, you know, and everybody has this story. Man, I was just talking to Clyde yesterday, man. Like everything was good. He was
Right.
he was vibrant. None of that. So life hits us sometimes unexpected. And if you're that breadwinner, you making $60,000, $70,000 a year, and
Uh
you
huh.
got a stay-at-home spouse who's taking care of the kids, and all
Yes.
of a sudden that's snatched up, you know,
Wow.
it's important for you to have something there. If it's not $500,000 to $1 million, at least a $60,000 policy in place to do that income replacement for at least a year, you
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
and not to have your kids out there in the streets or your family in the streets,
Hmm.
because of the unexpected. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
Right.
that's why I think it's important to have life insurance because of the unexpectancy of life, the tax-free benefit of it, and the probate benefit of it.
You know what you just said makes a lot of sense because we're going at all ages, especially now with the virus and
Hmm.
so on. Even though we're at peacetime, but still, you just never know. They can
Hmm.
come back home and be dismissed.
Hmm.
You have to make sure if you have a family. What I look at, because all my family members have insurance. I know the importance of that. There's
Yeah.
insurance that people are not aware of that you can actually pay in and use it for retirement. Talk about that for a second.
So yeah, usually I'm actually going to tell you about two of them. Actually, okay.
Okay, take your
This
time.
is one. This is one that I actually like. Okay, because a
Okay.
lot of people talk about, oh, buy term, invest the rest, and that's an old saying that you heard. So I have a company that I deal with now that it's a term policy, but they do a return of premium, 100% return of premium.
Okay.
So you put, $150 a month, $100, whatever you put in monthly for however long, they're going to give you all your money back 100%. I have
Hmm.
some companies that do 70%, 50%. It just really depends. And living benefits is another thing that people don't think about. What happens if you get a heart attack and you're out of work and you can't do two of the six daily living things? We can access that money before you die because you might have a heart attack and keep living, but then you're out of work for months or whatever. Or if you have, it's called critical illness, chronic illness, and terminal illness. What happens
Hmm.
if the doctor comes to you and says, you got cancer and you only have 12 months to live? You can
Hmm.
access that money before. But when we talk about what you just asked about the cash value policies, those are permanent policies. Okay, you have whole life, and then you have what is called an index universal life policy. And the
Hmm.
index universal life policy is the one that I'm really fascinated with as an insurance agent, and one that I come to love because you can use that to pretty much retire. Okay. And the way they do that is you can come to me or you come to your agent and you'd be like, hey, I want to get a policy, but I want the death benefit to be as low as possible. Right.
Okay.
And this is tax, and this is something in the tax law too. You can see it. There's a certain amount that you have to have in order to be considered insurance, and there's a certain amount that you have to put in, that you can put in. You can't put any more than said number. But either way, you go to your insurance agent. You say, I want to get a policy that is built for a retirement and
Okay.
not a death benefit. Okay,
Okay.
it still gives you the death benefit because that's what life insurance is, but you're building it for the sole purpose of I want retirement income, right? And so you're going to put this money into this policy, right? And you're funding more of the cash value than the life insurance side. And I'm keeping it real simple for, there's a lot of other terminology, but I'm going to keep it real simple, all right? But you're funding the cash value of that policy so that later on down the line, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, something happens, right?
Right.
Say you want a down payment on a house, you don't have $15,000. You can borrow against your policy now. You can borrow against your life insurance policy. It's called a policy loan to be able to get that cash and actually use it. And the insurance company is not going to say anything to you about it. They're not going to be like, well, what you need it for? You need to do a credit check. It's your right and your access to your life insurance. Okay. Now I give a disclaimer. Each company and each person is different on how much you can access it, how much that money goes. Just think of it like this: the more money you put into it, the more money you will have later to use. And I would use it for a long-term strategy as far as income replacement later on in life. But you're talking about something that you can pull $15,000, $20,000 a year out of, and that's tax free.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and
A lot of
and so
people.
businesses can use that too. Go ahead.
Oh, you say businesses can use it? How
Yeah,
would that
yeah,
be for business?
businesses. If you're a business owner and you want to you have, let's say you're, it's called key man. Okay, so let's say you have that one person, and you're like, everybody has that assistant. For me, it's my wife, right? If
Okay.
something happened right now, like to my wife, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be lost for a moment. So she employed up under my business, and I can get life insurance, and it's under that key man insurance for her. If something happens to her, I have to be able to find a replacement because my productivity is gone, or whatever. So I have to be able to find someone that can, replace all the work she does because I'd literally be lost. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
And so now I can use that life insurance policy to, be able to hire someone else, get them trained and all that other stuff. Let's say, you're still a business person. You got this life insurance policy going, and you're like, hey, they got this new office space. I really need to get into this office space. I don't want to use my cash because I got my cash going on in other places right now. I got other things going on. I want to be able to get this cash to put this down payment on my office space. You can use your life insurance policy on the business side to be able to actually access that. And that's, again, this is tax free. Now there is a interest that is associated with that. We're not just getting this money, and it's free money in a sense because it's your money. But there
Okay.
is it's considered a loan under life insurance that you can pay back, but the collateral of that is your death benefit. Okay, so if you don't pay it back, the life insurance company is not going to be like, oh well, you owe us, $300 this month. Like you put it back when you want to put it back
Hmm.
over the course of this policy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Knowledge is powerful, but if you don't apply it, folks, I got to tell you, it's something that we all need. I mean, you're hearing it
Mhm.
from the gentleman here who actually gave some word of wisdom. I have to say that I'm listening myself and taking notes as we speak. Okay, and I have a phone right here that's on that someone's listening into the call because it's that important. Insurance is really important.
It
Okay,
is. It
so
is.
tell me, would you recommend getting insurance for your children at a young age for college? Do you have policies like that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can definitely set up stuff like that. You get you. I would say same thing that I just talked about. The Index Universal Life. It's you can use it for family purposes. You can use it for business purposes. There's so many different ways you can use it. I was reading a book where a guy that I was reading about. He was talking about how his parents did the same thing. I study these books all the time so that I can make sure I'm a master of my craft.
Yes,
And
yes.
so he was explaining on how he used it or how his parents used it when he was younger. And so his parents set up an IUL for them while they were younger, and they would put a little bit of money away every year. By the time it was time for them to go to college, they were borrowing money off their life insurance policy to pay for college.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
again, these index universal life policies, I don't know if I explained it. They are pegged to the stock market, but they're not actually in the market. So the beautiful thing about these index universal life policies, now insurance agents have the ability to deal with this because there's also what many people heard as a variable. Okay, I don't deal with variables because that's something on a financial advisor. But on the index side, it's pegged to the stock market. It's not actually in there. So what that allows for us to do is to be able to get you that gain of the market. But when the market goes to zero or below, you don't lose anything. You see what I'm saying? Now, what is the sacrifice the insurance carriers or you as the customer will take on that? If the market goes up to 22%, there is a cap of like 15%. So you don't get that extra money that the market went up. But again, you have that safety net that you'll never lose money if the market goes, hey, the Dow Jones fell less than, or negative 20%, negative 40%. You don't take those losses. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's a really safe way to, maneuver your money and protect your family at the same time.
Interesting. Interesting. Good
Hmm.
content, my friend. Good information here. I'm
Hmm.
going to switch gears just a little bit. Let's talk about you, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Let's talk about when did your home-based business journey begin? When you start thinking about, hey, I need to think about plan C or plan B or plan D. When did that start? Because I can tell you're very intelligent. And
So,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'll tell you, it started back in 2016. Uh, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a big video game player, and
Okay.
I love playing video games online. And so, I was sitting back complaining because I didn't have a lot of money, and I'm like, man, bro, like, I thought about Steve Harvey's one of my role models. I
Okay.
just think about him. But so I started thinking about what do all these people who have a lot of money do? They're never like they're always doing something. They're never just sitting around. And I was
Right.
sitting around quite a bit,
Okay.
playing video games, and I still do here and there, but I've changed gears. And so I
Uh-huh.
started doing Uber and Lyft.
Right.
Doing Uber and Lyft made me realize the value of time because when you got to drive 20 minutes to go pick up a client and then take them, 2 minutes up the road, you're like, bro, I just wasted all this time. It started to make me realize that every hour I could be making money. So when I started playing video games at home, when I could be driving, I felt bad because I've been on this video game for like an hour or 2 hours when I could have been making 20, $30 this past hour. So that kicked me into to gear to thinking about the entrepreneurship world. And then, fast forward to get to where I'm at right now, as far as the life insurance business, I think if you didn't get anything out of 2020, you better have a side hustle. You know what I mean? And so
I
whenever
just,
COVID hit and we were sitting back, the military, everybody, first time in my whole career, we were told work from home. So I would work from home a little bit, and then I started studying this insurance business. I work with Family First Life, so they were paying for me to actually learn the material to take an exam and become an insurance agent. And so I took that exam. I went out because I really thought it was a scam. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like my wife bought the information to me, and I was like, that ain't real. And so
Mm.
when I went out my first time, I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose. It's still, COVID season, whatever. And so I went out there, and my first weekend I made $2,500, and I was just like, oh my God, like this is a real situation,
Yes.
And I did it again.
A big breakthrough for you.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was like when I did it again, I was like, yo, this is like I could do this every day, and that's where it was at right there. And I was just like, from then on, I was like, I'm never working for anyone else again.
You know what? A lot of people didn't have time to look at anything else other than their job. They were just too busy, too tired. They go to work, come home, sleep, eat, or whatever, and then they go back to work.
Yeah.
But I call them comfort. You're comfortable in your life. But when you lose that part of your life, worrying about loaf of bread, I always say the next day, things get serious. You got to come up with a plan B, a plan C. I always say have a plan B and a plan C in place before you lose plan A.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a commercial right in between here. It's going to talk about what you're doing so people can see that, okay? And then they can make decisions based on what they see. So let's go ahead and continue and talk about your breakthrough. So right now, my understanding, you're about to get out of the service.
Yeah, I'm about to get out the service. I've been in, like I said, for 20 years.
Wow, guys.
15 of them was active duty. My knee has just been acting crazy. My back is like from my knee, it was down to my leg, up to my back, and it's just been, it's been a lot. So it was really hard on. It's been hard on me to actually, keep functioning the way I need to function. And I'm not a leader that likes to sit back and tell people what to do. I like to lead from the front, and so it's really degrading me from leading from the front right now. As far as the military.
And that's another reason why you are more serious than you was before. You're at that point in your life where, hey, I'm going to stop taking those orders and start giving orders to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
To take care of my family as a whole. So it's a whole new world for you.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting. That is, that is so interesting. Like I said, I want to talk about. So now you're about to come out. You're about to go into the home-based business world because you had a taste of that. You drove for Lyft, and I know a lot about Lyft. We're not going to get into that. You have to go back to some videos. But a lot of people I know understand that it costs money to live, and it costs even more when you have children. So I'm here to tell you, make sure you have a plan B and a plan C. Okay. And there will be information for you folks to look at on that. I search for those who have the information that's going to help you achieve your goals, your financial goals in life. Home-based business is definitely the way to go. And I always like to say this: if you have a 9-to-5 job, they're going to tell you how much they're going to pay you an hour, but you should be telling them how much they should pay you for your time. As simple as that. It's a mindset. Yeah, it's a mindset.
I mean, you said a plan A and a plan B. In the military, they talk us about 4. You got a PACE plan: primary, alternate, contingent, and emergency. So you got to be very thorough. you know?
Yeah, yeah, you
Very.
do. You don't have time to waste. You really
Mm,
don't. You
nah.
know, and the interesting part about it, you know where you at, and I
Hmm.
can tell you on a scale of 1 to 10, you're probably at 12 or 13.
Yeah.
You know, and every time you go home, you look at your family, you're probably thinking, "Oh, well, there's 10, and there's 10, there's 10." There's, you know, it
Yeah.
just blows up.
Yeah.
But listen, it's been a pleasure, my friend. We're going to invite you back. Okay,
Definitely.
we
Definitely. I
definitely have to
appreciate it.
invite you back because, like I said, you dropped some nuggets. You know, insurance, Ron, are so important. You know, it really is important. Uh, Taking care of your family, taking care of your business.
Hmm.
You know, so I'm gonna give you 1 minute. Do you have anything like final thoughts on those who are sitting there going, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't? What would you say to them?
So I want to give y'all one pro tip when trying to figure out how much life insurance you need. I wrote it down. All right. Is this the correct way? I know sometimes things.
Yes,
Okay.
it's coming in perfect.
Okay. So use life to figure out how much insurance you need. Okay. Life. You got loans. How much money do you have in loans? Okay. How much income replacement do you need? Okay. Do you make $50,000 a year? Do you make $60,000 a year? Final expense. All right. How much do you think it's going to be to bury you? Are you going to get cremated? Are you going to use a? Are you going to be put in a coffin and buried in the ground? Okay. And then lastly, education. Okay. Do you have any children or do you have any grandchildren that you want to send to school? How much is that going to cost? Okay. And that is a quick and easy way that we've been taught on how to figure out and determine how much life insurance you actually need. Now, I will say you may not be able to afford it, but at least it gives you an opportunity to see what you need. And if you can get 25% of it, 50%, something is better than nothing. Okay. And that's my last tip on life insurance for that. Okay.
You know, well spoken, my friend. I'm sure that
Thank you.
those people who were interested were probably leaning into the screen,
Hmm.
listen to what you have to say. Words of wisdom, wise words. Here you have a gentleman who's about to retire. He's thinking ahead. He's not thinking about, oh well, I did 20 years. I'm gonna go and jump on the couch and watch Netflix. No, he didn't. He didn't say that because he will get
Hmm.
retirement money, but he's thinking about his children. It's not enough.
Hmm.
You know, it's not enough. And if you know anything about inflations, it won't pay for too much in the next 10 years. His
Yeah.
retirement. He has to basically plan now today. So, my friend, I listened to you. I took my notes. I'm sure that there's a lot of people are going to have more questions, and we're definitely going to bring you back. I'm looking forward to actually some more questions about your business, you know, and how that's going for you, because I understand the business you have pays residual income as well.
Yes.
That
Residual and overrides. Yep.
And folks, if you guys want to hear those about his business, I put a video and a commercial in here, and also his information, so you can get a hold of him. And he's going to get very busy. I can tell you that right now because we're going to put him on our show, on our television show, as well as not just YouTube, but Facebook. You name it, all over the place. He's going to be getting booked. So don't hesitate. Go ahead and get a hold of him. As I said, I'm going to put that information here at the bottom. Once again, Ron, thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you pulling me out and inviting me on. Okay.
Hey, you know what? I want to give you, you get 3 shout outs here before we conclude. Who you want to do a shout out for?
Man, I want to give a shout out to my boy Sean 10K Cards. If you guys don't have a 10K card, you definitely got to check that out. You
Okay.
can find them on Clubhouse if you've been on that. I want to give a shout out to my wife who supports me and
Oh,
everything that I do.
definitely.
Okay. And then I want to give a shout out to everyone who has served in the military, and especially the soldiers who may hear this that have served up under me. I would not have been where I am now had it not been for you guys.
Man, I love it. I love it. And we are going to put that out and share this information to them so they can. You just get a shout out to them, so they're going to want to share that.
Most definitely.
Well, listen,
Most
Ron. Once
definitely.
again, thank you for spending the time with us today. We look forward to talk to you very soon. Peace out for right now.
All right, brother. Take it easy.